Welcome back to the live stream. Uh, State Representative Colonel Pam Stevenson, JD, representative of District 43 in Louisville. Thank you so much for joining us, Representative Colonel Pam.
So glad to be here. Now I have a really important question. You sent me an email that said the kernels of truth. Was that a special title for me?
No, unfortunately it's not. We changed our name.
Oh,
So
man.
after we stopped going solely after Mitch, we changed the name from Moscow Mitch Monday to Kernels of Truth.
Oh, why don't you just humor me?
Yes, it is. It's special for you. But you know what this means, Representative Colonel Pam, is you can come on whenever you want because you're a kernel of truth as well. So
he's good. He's good. I love it.
We're so excited to have you back. So we had you before. I think you had just done your orientation, maybe, and then you came in and checked in with us. How was it? How was your first General Assembly? Are you over?
Smooth sailing, right?
Say what?
Smooth sailing, right?
Oh my gosh. I mean, who knew that's how we made sausage? Right. Who knew? If the American people knew that in these legislatures that things happen the way they happen, they would be afraid. It was drinking from a fire hose, but it's good work for good people. And it was disappointing in some ways. And there were some joyful things that happened.
Awesome. Hey, I totally glossed over our ceremonial first question.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm ready.
I do it about half the time I remember. So what is your protest sign say tonight?
Tonight, my protest sign says, engage in the streets, in the boardrooms, and in the government. Engage everywhere.
Nice. Okay. Is that a Colonel Pam quote, or that sounds?
Yes.
Nice.
Because I can't have my own kernels of truth. I gotta have something.
I mean, it sounds like truth. I think you're definitely an honory Colonel of Truth.
That right there was a great one. But Representative Stevenson, you mentioned there were some good times during this session. Could you please tell me one thing? No, I know that your bill was passed. Hey, I'm proud of you. I know that they sang for you. Woo, woo, woo. But I don't know what that was, everybody. But what's some good that came out of this session?
Good things, you guys. So first of all, politics, the way we do it now, is a game of inches and not yards. You'll never get something through entirely the first time that's everything you want. So some good things that happened was, one, we had the West Louisville TIF, where they're going to put $30 million worth of tax money back into businesses and moving people from home ownership, from renting to home ownership. That's good. And the board has to be 51% West Louisvillians, and it also has to be one person from each neighborhood. We have funding and we have the authority to make something happen for our community.
Nice.
That's good. Number two, they found a way to have the Kentucky State support the other historical Black college in the state of Kentucky, so that their students can go through their teaching program and utilize funding scholarships from Kentucky.
Wonderful.
That's a big deal.
That is amazing.
Because the Simmons College is responsible for 50% of the teachers. Mm-hmm. And the big problem was they could not use Kentucky finances. Not scholarships.
Yeah, I didn't.
So now they found a way to make sure that those who would like to go to Simmons and also a way for the two historically Black colleges to operate together. That's a good thing.
For everybody that doesn't know, sorry, Pam, Representative, for people who are watching who don't know who the other historically Black college or university is, that's Kentucky State University. And that's what HBCU means, just so you know. Go ahead. Yeah.
The other good thing is one of my horrors was, how is it that we take people that were in the prison system, put them out on the street after they served their sentence with no money, no ID card, no place to live, and no way to keep them on the up and up. And it's just, and then They don't even get SNAP benefits. They don't get Section 8. They get nothing. And then we're surprised when they go back to crime. Well, we passed House Bill 497, and they now will leave with an identification card from the state of Kentucky saying, this is who I am, and they can start applying for jobs and doing things like that. Most things you cannot do without an identification card. So that's good. Now, one of my favorite things is not a bill, but it's the beginning, and it's important. Kentucky is the first state to make the last day of February, the day that connects Black History Month and Women's History Month, is a day to honor Black women.
Well, hello. I'm right here.
I'm loving that. Loving that. I'm definitely loving that.
Oh, yeah. Now, here's the thing. We do what we always do from the times of slavery, when we left our house and took care of the master's house, nursed our baby, go nurse the master's baby, all the way to the women in Alabama who said there will not be a child molester in the U.S. Senate, to everything we do in the background. Now is the call to do it in the foreground. We are going to own our power.
Own it.
And we're going to make sure that we bring everybody else along like we have always been doing.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. So I'm very proud of that. And I'm hoping this year that I get some other states to join in making February 28th or 29th the day to honor Black women. Now, here's the right thing you do. The way you honor Black women is you go back into your family and your community and you acknowledge every woman in your life. So this is very inclusive, but it's in honor of the Black woman.
I know that's right. Honor us. Love you too.
Yeah. So that's it was a resolution. Nobody voted against it. It passed. Because it's a resolution, we have to do it every year until we decide we don't need it or we get passed into law. So I'm excited about that. We also passed the mental health. You know, in this country, particularly the pandemic has shown that we all have mental health issues, and we now just need to own them. Well, you can't own it if there are no facilities, providers to do that. If you wanted to go talk to somebody, it's oftentimes difficult. So they gave a little encouragement to the mental health community and the disabled community, which never gets any press. And they have big problems like getting left stranded at a doctor's appointment because TARC goes on strike. Who does that? And they started that process of giving them a flag and elevating the issue of everyone needs mental health services at one time or another.
Wonderful.
I agree with that totally, about the mental health part, because I do work in that field and I know how overwhelming it can be for us that work in that field. And we do need more monies. We do need more resources. You know, caseloads can be extremely heavy, you know, and almost working 24 hours around.
Oh.
Yeah. And she's, you know, she's very right. Now, here's the other thing. When I say it's a game of inches, it's a game of inches, you guys. So, for example, we didn't get everything we wanted in the voting rights bill, but we got more than what we had.
Right.
And we also made it so that if you are a person without a home, but you have a temporary address, they can vote too. That was not going to happen. What are you smiling at, Denise Gray?
No, I'm just proud of you. Because
you
know, I'm proud of you. This was your first session as a representative, and you made your voice known. People know you. You stood up for all that was good. You were able to hold people accountable, but yet do it in such a respectful way that everyone was like in awe of your leadership. And you shined. You did shine.
Well, I have to tell you, I think one of you said it before, that if you don't love God's people, if you don't love people, if you don't want to do good, if you don't want to live for something bigger than yourself, we're going to get what we got in a lot of places, which is 10 bills that have nothing to do with feeding people, clothing people, or keeping them from being evicted as the first line of business on January the 5th. Now, why are you doing 10 bills that's stripping the governor of his powers when he's in the middle of a successful battle? It's all politics. That's the part I didn't like. If they had been smart, they would have put 5 bills that said, I'm going to feed these people. I'm going to get clean water to this country, this part of the state. And I'm going to get broadband. Let Kentucky be the first state to have broadband door to door. And then do your dirt. But no, they were so hungry that they went directly towards, I want to get all the power I can right now, right here. And it's a disservice to who we are as Kentuckians.
Amen. I think your attitude has just come through, and again, I'm in Lexington, so you're not my representative. You aren't necessarily the representative that people are paying attention to in Lexington news, but I still saw you were still getting attention in I think a very positive way. And I think your approach and your attitude is wonderful, and thank you so much for doing the work back there, because I know it can't be the moments of joy, as you said, but it can be a lot of fun lining up against that super duper majority of and their shenanigans, their power grabs each and every day. But thank you for being there and for doing what you can, which it seems like is quite significant. Really, you got me a little bit more hopeful about the General Assembly and Frankfort in general.
Well, you said it best, Aaron. Here's the thing. I had someone email me. Who knew? I got one day I got 6,000 emails. And I'm like, who put that in my email box? But people want the same things. They want their lives to matter. They want their children to be safe. They want food on their table. And I promise you, most of the people that are homeless don't want to be. So we can put a man on the moon. We can solve those issues. We just don't have the fortitude to sit down and focus until they're resolved. The money for COVID came from somewhere. So why are we allowing people to sleep on the streets?
That's right. I agree with that. Colonel Pam, you know that you are like a mentor and a big sister.
You're my baby sister.
I know. And I was telling Aaron, like, I might have been in a little bit of trouble because I haven't been and I blamed it all on him because I haven't been as available. But I told you I have been watching you closely. Yes, I have.
We got that cleared up when we first talked.
Yes, thank you very much. I love you. But you know what, Colonel Pam, I'm going to tell you something why you are a shero to me. And when I saw you in a news clip, you were being you. And that's what I really admire about you, because you did not go to Frankfurt and feel like you had to be someone else. And I know with my daughter being in the Air Force, some people think the Air Force is, you don't have to go through as many obstacles as some of the other armed services. But I'm here to tell you that I understand and I know it can be brutal. And you did 27 years, and a Black woman, okay? A Black woman coming out of the United States Air Force as a colonel.
Yeah.
You know?
God's good to me.
I have to I'm not doing it right, I'm sure, but I have to salute you. And I just know, and I told you that you were going to win because I knew that. I don't know how I knew that, but I knew that. And I also knew that you would be different, that you honestly care about the people. Yeah. And that you wanted to make change. And the other thing that I do know about you, knowing you personally, is that that's never going to change. That's always who you have been. Although, don't get it twisted, I told you you know, to get after me, you might have to stand in a chair sometimes a little bit. Yeah, but you know what? I respect you. Yes, ma'am. I respect you because I know this too. Look, I know this too. 27 years coming out of the military, the United States Air Force, okay? I know my daughter is about to be a captain and she's a bad mama jamma, okay? She don't play. And I know that in order for you to get to where you were, not only did you have to have the brilliance and the perseverance, you have to be tough. So I want everybody and the viewers to know, although Colonel Pam, she's, you know, laughter, a joyful person, a woman of faith, don't get it twisted. She ain't scared.
Thank you.
She will get them. I saw you on the TV and I couldn't do anything. I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised because I knew that is just who you are. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm glad she's representing Louisville. Thank you. And, you know, the Ville in the house. I just had to say that. But I just thank you, Colonel Pam. I thank you for all the help you've given me. And most of all, I thank you for your service. And we all thank you for what you're doing in Frankfurt.
Yeah, thank you. Love to you. Now,
and then I just want to see really quickly, Colonel Pam, Representative Colonel Pam, we are so honored that you've been here on the show. I want to see if you like, and I know I've got the little piece of paper, so I'm a colonel too. I know it doesn't compare to what you've done to get your rank. We're all colonels here.
I'm a colonel in the Army of life, though. I don't know.
I gotta tell you this. I apologize if you heard it, but we had a 90-year-old veteran who came to be honored, and we say nice things about him. And I went up to him after the ceremony and I said, congratulations, thank you for your service. And his rep that was sponsoring him says, she's a colonel. You have to salute her. He said, she's a Kentucky colonel?
No, you were like, I'm the real.
No, and the guy said, he said, no, she's an Air Force colonel. And this 90-year-old guy got so flabbergasted. He was trying to find a way to be nice to me and salute me. I'm like, please don't have a heart attack on my, please. And then only thing that could come out was, I once knew a colored girl that saved my life, and I never got a chance to take a picture with her.
Oh my gosh.
And so thank you. And I said, well, take a picture with this colored girl. Like, I am not going to fight this 90-year-old man about his use of terminology when he couldn't find the words to honor me. He's trying to say something nice about me. And I'm like, okay. So afterwards, we took the picture and I said, look, if you hold me much tighter, I'm going to have to charge you. And it was a pleasant moment. But here's the thing. You guys fight the battles that matter. Like me feeding children matters. Families thriving matters. Having a minimum wage that's $15 matters. Yes. Now I could have tackled this man, knocked him over for sure. And to what? To what? Now all the reps that were standing around, they didn't know what was going to happen. And when I responded the way I responded, they breathed. And one of them came up to me afterwards and said, there's something about resolving conflict another way. Well, yeah, you don't always have to fight. You don't always have to be mad. I had one of the reps say something I thought was racist. And after the committee meeting was over, I went up to him and I said, you said this, because I wrote it down while he was saying it. And I had his exact words. I said, you said this. Did you mean it? He said, well, let me explain. So he explained himself. I was really curious, like what would cause another human being to say that? And then we can start having solutions if we can start to understand one another. So he explained it to me. And then he says, well, how do you feel about it? And I told him how I felt about it. He says, I never thought about that. He said, nobody's ever stopped me before. And I said, I'm not stopping you. I am trying to understand. And he said, well, why don't you come back to my office and we can talk more about it? I said, I got to go to lunch. I'm hungry. But there are opportunities to talk with people where they are. Now, there's some other people that I just had to get with. And I do that in private. But you're not going to mess with me. Just because I smile doesn't mean this is a family program. Doesn't mean you're going to mess with me. And then you get it done and you move on to feeding children. I am not going to let the naysayers can't do nothing, won't do nothing, stop me from doing something for the people that need the help.
Praise them. That was a sermon right there. Woo!
This has been Life Lessons
Hallelujah.
with Representative Colonel Pam. Thank you for dropping the knowledge and bringing the wisdom. And I love your attitude. And I'm so glad you're there in Frankfurt doing this work. Any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
Love people. Like when I see people walking down the hallway at the Capitol, I don't say, well, I used to say there's a Republican because it brings a whole set of actions with that word. What I say is there's a dad that has 2 kids that loves his wife and he's a horse farmer. I wonder what's going on with him. And then if you don't know what other people are experiencing, don't talk. I joined the Mountain Caucus because I was shocked that people in Kentucky don't have potable water. There is no way in 2021 that should happen. So I said, let me find out about it. And so I joined the Mountain Caucus. And the guy asked me, why did you join the Mountain Caucus? I said, because you need help. You ain't got no water. So if we asked ourselves, am I taking an action for the greater good and for Kentucky? Sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes it's no, but you got to shore up and be truthful to yourself. We can get Kentucky to the top of the list based on the things we agree upon. We might never agree on pro-choice. I don't need to, but I do know we all agree that children shouldn't be hungry. So let's work on the things that we agree upon, and the things we don't, bury them. Love people.
Or another approach, Representative Colonel Pam, the things we disagree on, we can make sure there's a statewide referendum on them so that we can take advantage of the moment politically. How about that? That seems like
that would sum up my session.
Thank you again for joining us and for sharing your stories.
I can't.
Love you, Colonel Pam.
You guys are the best. Keep on keeping on.